So we're joined by Cal Porter with some big news, Ports. You've recommitted for 2025. That's absolutely fantastic news to hear. Take us through your decision-making process. How did you arrive?
It was a pretty easy decision. I'm a Box Hill man, and ever since I've arrived, I've said this to a few people, I fell more and more in love with the club and particularly the people and the culture since I've been here. So I think that's going to continue. I think there's a lot of success around the corner, but ultimately, bit of a cliche, but it's the friendships and the relationships I've built, and yeah, just being a Box Hill person, it's an easy decision.
2025 will be your fifth year in Brown and Gold, taking yourself back to the end of 2020 when you arrive at the footy club. Could you have imagined signing on for a fifth year?
No, it's gone really quickly. It's surprising that we've got to 5 years. As I said, I feel like I've clicked and we're here. Been a lot that's happened in between now and then, a lot of great teammates, a lot of new faces, some great wins along the way, and just some really great memories, some of my best footy memories, and probably my best footy form-wise individually over that next 5 years. So I wouldn't have changed a thing. Ever since I've arrived, it's been amazing. But when you look back and reflect, which I haven't had a lot of time to do, there's a lot of great memories and a lot of great footy throughout that period.
I suppose it creeps up on you in a way, doesn't it? Because all of a sudden, your time here represents a really good percentage of your life. How do you reflect on your time here and your growth as a person?
The growth's been massive. I've learned a lot of lessons around coming off a list and then fitting into a team and swapping that individual stuff for team success, which I did originally even when I was on a list, but I learnt the true meaning of that here at Box Hill. I've developed a lot as a leader as well. I've had a lot of leadership roles throughout my career, but being captain of the footy club now for a second year has taught me a number of valuable lessons, and that's been one of the biggest joys of my career and one of the best achievements that I can hang my hat on, is that I've been able to lead this great footy club after the likes of Damien Mercedes, Dave Mirra, guys that I've been able to have chats with personally and lean on over the years. They've taught me a lot of different things, and David Banfield's in the building, he's another one. So in terms of my individual growth as a person, I could put that down to those individuals at the footy club, but also just, the honour and the privilege of being able to captain the side and be a key contributor has been a massive part of my growth as a leader and a person.
And I suppose when you walk into a new club, I imagine it takes a little while for you to get your feet under you and get the lay of the land and figure out your place in the scheme of things. What were your first impressions of the club when you first walked through the door, and how have they changed, if at all, during your time?
It's changed a little bit personnel-wise. I've had 3 different coaches, and the list turnover can be quite drastic year on year. But in terms of the things that have stayed the same, like that core group that we've played with, guys like Ferg, Cav, Stu Horner, I'm going to miss a few here, but Ed Phillips, James Parsons, all of these guys, Cal Brown, I could talk about these guys all day. So that's been the constant, and that was a big driver for coming, but also a big driver for staying here. And my first perceptions of the club, it's obviously very successful, very rich history. We, striving to play finals and contending almost every year. That was the main reason I came as well, around success. I was a Hawthorn supporter growing up, so a bit of a Sam Mitchell fanboy. So to be coached by Sam Mitchell when I first arrived, my first impressions were sort of a bit of a deer in headlights in some aspects. I was an excited little kid that has grown up a Hawthorn supporter that now is part of that alignment. I really enjoyed that, and as I mentioned earlier, the more that I've got to know the club, the more I've loved it and just fell in love with the place.
You mentioned turnover. It's a really good point, because in the VFL program there is a lot of turnover year on year. Do you feel any responsibility in being a constant across now a couple of generations of Box Hill lists, and recognising that and recognising your importance, not just as an individual, you mentioned the names before, but in terms of maintaining a culture, building a culture, etc.?
Definitely. I think there's values that are set by both Box Hill and Hawthorn that we live by, but the people that are driving that culture is guys like myself and the leadership group and just our core group of players. So the longer that we can stick around, obviously the more that we get to live and breathe that and understand that, not just at training but on field. And I think that really equips us well to convey that knowledge onto everyone else in the group. And it's really important that the people that walk through the door, if it's their first year or their 4th year, that they're living those values either as quickly as possible or just in the best possible way that they can individually. And it looks different for everyone, but it's very important, not just myself, but the core group are the ones who are leading the way, living our values, whether it's Box Hill, Hawthorn, whatever the agenda's been set, we're the ones who are leading the way, and I think that's really important.
Spot on. And on culture, you're the captain, but you're also the CEO, which is sort of a dual role. Can you explain to us that CEO role and how much you enjoy the opportunity to lead and be the barometer of fun?
Yeah, the barometer of fun, it's always something I've found makes me play my best footy. Probably annoys a lot of people. I'm hoping it gets the best out of everyone else, but it definitely does for me. The CEO tag's been said that it's self-proclaimed, but I definitely haven't pioneered that. It's the Chief Energy Officer. It's just around getting the vibes up, playing the tunes before the game, but also getting vocal, verbal, and just, controlling the energy like a barometer, as you said. So it's a core group of us that I think really share that, but if I can be the leader in that space, I'm always jumping at any opportunity, whether it's social media content or talking dribble out on the track or in a warm-up. Hopefully everyone feeds off that, because I think the more fun that I have, the better footy I play. And it's probably something that took me a little bit longer to realise, especially at VFL and AFL level. It's quite a serious, time-consuming and often like mentally consuming caper. So I think being able to have fun with it just allows for a really good environment, and for me, it allows me to play my best.
Absolutely. I'm certainly thankful for it. And I suppose while you signed on for 2025, which is absolutely fantastic news, there's still so much to play out this year, isn't there? It's not about forgetting about what's to play for and what's ahead of us in 2024. How have you assessed our season to date?
It's been great. We're in the top six. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think we've been in the top six for probably all the year, or most of the year. So anyone can beat anyone in the VFL, and it's the same thing that's happening in the AFL at the moment too. So it's been a few weeks where we've been slightly off our game and have been beaten by better opposition on the day. But if I flip that, if we play our best footy, I think we can beat anyone. So in order to do that, you just got to get in that top six or make that final top 8 for finals. And I think that'll allow us to beat anyone. And I mentioned Dave Mirra earlier. When they won their second premiership in his time, they actually came from 7th on the ladder. So it's not so much putting pressure on ourselves to finish at a certain point. It's just, let's make the 8. We know our best can beat anyone. And once we get there, I think we're going to be a scary team to play against. So that's super exciting. It's great to announce this news and looking ahead to 2025. But our main focus is definitely making the 8 and just being a really, scary opposition to play against, whoever that may be.
So I suppose in closing, we spoke in pre-season and you were very open and honest that the goal, the reason the footy club exists is to compete for and attempt to win the premiership. Obviously the goal is the same?
Yeah, the goal's the same, and that's why we're here every day. As we mentioned, it's the fun and the relationships, and we all have a passion for football, but we want to win. So the best way we can do that is, keep playing the way we want to play, keep gelling, just get the mental side of the game right off the field. As I mentioned, make sure the fun and the work ethic and the values we're living by are still there. But at the same time, we don't hide away from the fact that we're a successful club that wants to compete. And if we can make that top 6, that top 8, wherever it may be, I think that's something we're really well positioned to do. Regardless of ladder position, I think we're quite potent and we've got a great group that can do great things. Well
said, Ports. We're all wrapped that you're recommitted for 2025, your first cab off the rank. We've hopefully got some more good news coming in the weeks to come, but congratulations, well done. We'll go again.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.